Hello, 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 and happy Monday to you all. So glad that you're able to join me on this Monday, the last Monday in September. This year is really just flying by. I can't believe it's almost September already. It's like a few more, 4 more months to the end of the year. No, 5 more months to the end of the year. So I can't really wait. 2021 has been a trying year, it's just as bad as 2020. I thought it couldn't get any worse, but I guess it can get worse. So welcome all my I Do in the Caribbean Facebook group. Um, and today I'm going to talk about Iberostar, talk about the resort and talk about getting married there because I was there last week for 4 days. So I'm going to give you my assessment of what I saw when I was there and just share information with you that I think would help you when you're trying to plan your destination wedding there. So Iberostar actually is located in 3 different countries. They have Iberostar in Mexico, Dominican Republic, and Jamaica. So I stayed at Iberostar Grand in Jamaica. And the property is about 20 minutes from the airport, the main airport in Montego Bay. So it's only 20 minutes right away. So I think that's definitely great. The other thing is it's 3 resorts in one. There is the Grand, which is the luxury, which is where I stayed. There's also the Suites, which is the middle of the ground like resort. And then there's the beaches, which is more budget friendly. I would say like a lead-in room. So the beaches and suites are all family resort, and the luxury, the Grand where I stayed, is adults only. So I said it's 3 resorts in one. Depending on where your budget is, you can pick one of those resorts. I had family members staying at the beaches. Also, a friend was staying at the beach, and I walked down because you can the 3 resorts are connected via the beach, or in the front you can take one of those little trolley that takes you back and forth, so you can go to the 3 resorts. The only issue is if you're staying at beaches, you can't really participate in what's going on at the suites. But the guests staying at suites can go to beaches and participate in what's going on at the beaches. If I'm in the Grand, I'm allowed to go to the other 2 resorts because I am at a more luxury level, so I can always go down. But anyone at the lower level cannot go up. So that's how that works. So that's also a point I wanted to make known, that if you're getting married at a Iberostar in one of these resorts, just be careful which resort you're picking. Like if you're picking the suites, make sure all your guests is staying in the suites, because if they're coming from a different one of the different hotel with a Grand or beaches, they might have to pay extra to come to the. If they're in beaches and they're coming to a wedding in suites, they have to pay more money. So that's going to cost you more for them to go stay in another resort, but pay more to come to attend your wedding. So that's something I think you really need to be aware of when you're thinking about using this particular resort, because you want everyone in the same location. So you're not paying extra for them to move from one resort to the next to attend your wedding. And basically, the differences obviously is if you're in the Grand, it's more luxurious. I can tell by the quality of the food, the type of restaurant that was there, the service. I could see a difference when I went from the Grand to the suites to the beach. Not saying anything is wrong with any of the other resort, and just saying there will be a difference in service, a difference in the quality of the food you probably get, in difference in the choices you get. But as I said, I had people staying at beaches and they were very happy with the food they got there. They said the food was very good. So let's start with the food. For me, I really enjoyed the food I ate at Iberostar Grand. I thought all the food was good quality. I ate first at a Jamaican restaurant, and I thought that was like some of the best food I've had. Also, they had a lot of choices. I mean, I've never seen such an extensive Jamaican restaurant menu. There were things on there that I remember as a child growing up, like, blue jaws or, sweet potato pudding. Like, there's stuff on it that I wouldn't expect a resort to have on their actual menu, which I was very pleased with. So there was a lot to choose from. I actually wanted to go back to the restaurant again to eat other things that I didn't get a chance to enjoy while I was there the first time. But I wanted to eat at the other restaurant so I could make the same assessment. So I thought the Jamaican restaurant was very good. They had a lot of authentic Jamaican items on there that, if you're going to Jamaica, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for a little bit of the culture. And they had a Jamaican restaurant that I thought really captured the Jamaican essence and had a lot of items to choose from. They also had a snack bar, which is like a jerk shack, that did have jerk chicken, jerk pork, a lot of other things like burgers and fries and fruit salads. So by the beach, there was a lot to choose from, a lot of snack food to choose from, as well as Jamaican food. So I thought the food there was good. I ate at the Italian restaurant and also Asian restaurant. They had lobster on the menu. I was able to eat, I think I had lobster like 3 times, a lobster salad. I had lobster thermidor. I had a grilled lobster. So it was plentiful. It didn't cost me extra to do it because it's all included because I was in the Grand. So I found that the food was very good. The breakfast buffet I thought was also great because they had a wide selection of Jamaican food to choose from, as well as a lot of other things that I saw on the menu, that it was just it was a wide variety of food to choose from. So I definitely would say it was an A+ on the food that I got there at Iberostar Grand. The service, I thought all the personnel were very nice, from check-in to concierge. They're very nice. They helped me along the process. When I checked in, my room wasn't ready yet, so I checked in. I went to the concierge. I made my dinner reservations because I know it's COVID. Not all the restaurants are open. So the first thing I did when I went to the resort was to make my reservation for the next 3 nights, because I don't really want to eat at 9 o'clock. So for me, the quicker I make my reservations, the better my chances are that I'm going to get the time that I need. So most of my reservations were for 6:30, 7 o'clock. So the first night was a Jamaican restaurant, then the Italian restaurant, and then the Asian restaurant. So the first thing I did, even after I didn't even have my room yet, I actually secured all my reservations for dinner. The next thing they told you to do was to make your reservation for your COVID test. So I didn't even get my room yet, as I said, and I went to concierge and I made my reservations to do my COVID test before I left. The good thing is there was no cost for the COVID test because I booked my room before July. I think this resort is something that you need to be aware of. We'll be charging you $40 per person to do the COVID test. So it's no longer free. So to me, that's something to take into consideration if you're booking the resort, that you might have to pay for the COVID test that you need to return back to the US. So I thought, why wouldn't you still give clients this for free? But they're not doing it anymore. I know AM Resorts is still doing COVID test free if you're staying over 3 nights. So is Royalton. They will give you a free COVID test. So, and I stayed at Royalton also. So I know those resorts are still giving free COVID tests to anyone going back to the US, because that's required. 72 hours before you go back to the US, you have to have a negative COVID test. So the personnel I said were nice. My room included butler service. So when we finally checked in, the doorman or the bellhop brought my suitcase in, gave me a little rundown of the resort, and then I think maybe 10 minutes later, one of the butlers came and introduced themselves. He said, he would communicate to us via WhatsApp. So he took both me and my husband's number. We took his number, and he said he would communicate with us. The room I had was a oceanfront room, which I really love that room. It's like you are literally on the ocean. So I would definitely recommend getting the ocean front room. My brother had an ocean view room, but his was that of the pool, which was very nice because he was right by the swim-up bar, and it was always activity going on. So when you look through his balcony, there's always some kind of entertainment going on. So that's also a great room. So from a butler service standpoint, I was very disappointed to me in the butler service, because I've stayed at many hotels that have butler service, and it's an elevated service. So I expect a little bit more when I went there. So I just said, I already made my dinner reservation. So he introduced himself. He said it was a butler. He could help us unpack. What else could I guess we could give him what our choices are for breakfast, and he would make sure that's ordered and delivered to a room, because we wanted to have room service for breakfast. But he didn't really give us any other thing. I mean, apart from, I guess he could make a spa appointment if you want. I guess if we didn't make dinner reservation, he could make that for us, but I already took care of that. So he introduced himself. He said there's 3 butlers. There's one in the morning, one in the afternoon, and a night butler just in case of emergency. And we could contact them at any time. So we saw him the first day. We didn't see him the second day. And the third day was the day of the storm. Grace was in Jamaica, so we kind of more stayed in because it rained all day. So my husband wanted like a container of ice. We called to get a container of ice. It took forever. I think when he finally went and got it himself, he saw the second butler. So during our stay, we saw the butler twice. And then on Thursday, he called our phone and said, oh, is there anything I can do for you? Are you celebrating anything special? I'm like, we checked in Monday. Now it's Thursday. You asking me if I'm celebrating anything special. To me, you're kind of late to the game. So for me, even though I might have done a couple of things that a butler would do, I think from a butler standpoint, you need to step your game up. Meaning that if you have client checking in, there must be something you can do to elevate their stay. And these butlers did not either think outside the box or really didn't know what to do to make our stay even more pleasurable than what it was. So for me, I think that was a failing grade for, I don't know if it's those particular butler, but they didn't really step, because when I use Sandals Butler to check me in, they give me a phone. They will check in with me in the mornings, afternoon, evening, just to make sure they know how my day was going. If there's anything special that I wanted that they don't have, like suppose I wanted ting, suppose I want a specific alcoholic beverage that I don't see, they would go out of their way to get it for me. And that's what I'm talking about, an elevated butler service, meaning that if there's specific things that you want that you don't see, you should be able to ask a butler and they're supposed to do that for you. The Sandals Butler, I know they can reserve a space for me on the beach. They can reserve a space for me by the pool. So at least I know when it's time, when I finish breakfast, I can leisurely go to my section and find a beach chair already prepared for me with my name on it, with a nice cooler with alcoholic beverage in there as well as some soda, and that would just get me started. So they do not reserve chairs, they do not reserve any seats at the beach. So for me, they really, as I said, it wasn't an elevated service, so I didn't feel special. So for me, the butler service needed a little bit more work, or these butler were just, I guess they didn't really care about care about me because I did some of the stuff that they would have done already. Even for a Sandals Butler, when I leave my room, I come back the next day, they'll have like a bubble bath set for me. Also, I'm not sure if it's because of COVID, why they can't do certain things that they normally do. So there was no pillow design. Most time you go in your room, there is towel design, and they, say welcome home, or there's some hardship stuff on your bed. None of those things happened in the butler service, and the type of service that they were offering me or didn't offer me at all. So that was a thumbs down for me. I would give them a C minus. They didn't really do anything for me. From an entertainment standpoint, there was really nightly entertainment on property. There was a lot of entertainment by the swim up bar. The way the hotels are shaped, all three of them are shaped the same way. It's U-shaped. So in the middle of the U would be the lobby where you come in, and the rooms are on the side. And there's like for the grand, there was like three pools. So the pool closer to the lobby would be, say, the quiet pool. The middle pool had a little bit more activity. And then the pool that was by the beach was a more active pool, and that's where they had a swim up bar. So a lot of activity was going on. They were playing bingo. They were playing all kind of games. Music was pumping. So it was a very lively crowd, and I really did enjoy the pool and at the beach area. I mean, we're on one of the best beaches in Jamaica. So the beach was very calm. It was very warm. It was just a pleasant experience. So, I mean, one of the best beaches I've been on. The pool area was really nice. No complaints. I think those were two very good things that they had there. And I said the nightly entertainment was good. They had a Michael Jackson show. They had a water show in the pool one night. They also had a live reggae band. And every night they, because the nightclub is closed, they have a DJ in the lobby every night. But after a while, I just got tired of that because it was like line music. I mean, like, line dancing, like, electric slide. It wasn't too much like, it was this new line dance. It's like every night it was the same people up there just doing freaking line dance. I was just, at a point, I'm like, all right, I'm done. This is not for me. Too much line dance. So that was one thing. They had the fire show on the beach the last night. And I said to one of the DJs who was fairly new, I'm like, why don't we have like the night or the club or the music in the Jamaican restaurant? Because the Jamaican restaurant is right on the beach. It's open air. It will be an open place that you can have music. People could be around each other without being so close and in a lobby. And they said, I'm going to make that suggestion because I thought the lobby and their lobby is not modern. It's very, I don't know what you call it. It just it needs to me be refurbished and look a little bit more modern. It was just old, and it was had curtains and stuff. It was just not in a place for nightly entertainment as far as I'm concerned. But that was just my opinion on that. So the negative things I would say about Iberostar is that the COVID test cost you money, which I think they should just include that in your thing, $40. Butler service to me was not one of the best. The lobby didn't have decor. They could a little bit more modern on there, and they have a vacation club. So it's not like widely advertised, or they're not like asking you to come sit for 40 minutes and you get a free massage or something. Like they do ask you, but you don't have to do it. But there is specific section, and they call it the Star Prestige Club, and these are for the people who are part of this vacation club. So they have a higher elevated service, and they have a spaces on the beach that's just for them, which nicer beach chairs and stuff like that. They have like a place to eat in the lobby, that they have a place that they can go, and they have coffee and just different things that they have that they would get because they're part of this vacation club. So that's something that they have. I call it negative because I never want to see that when I go to a hotel, but that's what they do. So let's talk about weddings. So if you're getting married at Iberostar, as I said, it's a great resort to think about having a destination wedding, only because we have 3 resorts in one. So you can, it's a one-stop shop, meaning that if people are budget friendly, they can stay in the beach, or they can stay in the suites, or if it's adult only, they can stay in the Grand, and they're on the same property. Most of their weddings, the better venues, I think, are on the beach. So they have great locations on the beach for you to have your wedding. I think I saw 2 deck space. If you want it like elevated and away from people, you can do. There's 2 decks that was available. There's a garden location available, and there was 2 garden locations available. One was more private, and one was more closer to the beach. There is also a gazebo on the pool of the suites, but that can only be done or used after, like, say 6:30, because it's really by the beach. Unless you can't really use it unless people are gone from the beach. So it's a later time you can do it. So to me, it's not the optimal place to have your wedding location. But there's places within beaches area, which is the lower level, that you can have a wedding on the beach, and it would be perfectly good. And the locations are really nice. The thing I have to say is that if you're having a reception on the beach, you have to have a tent. It's required, because there is no backup location if it rains. And I must say, for the month of August, it did rain a lot. You couldn't predict when it was going to rain. So definitely having a tent that's mandatory is a good idea, because you can still have your wedding even if it's raining, because the tent will cover you, and you can still have your event. So to me, that's a good thing. What do I have on here? I just have one thing I would say to bring to any couple's attention if they're thinking of having their wedding there, is that because there's 3 resorts in one, depending on where you have your wedding, as I said, you can pay extra for your guests to come to the wedding. So if you're having your wedding at beaches and people are staying at suites and Grand, I don't think you don't pay extra, because you're in the lowest tier, so there's no additional cost. But there's additional cost if you have outside guests coming to your wedding. They have to buy a day pass. So on top of the day pass to get on the property, you still have to pay for them for the wedding. So that could be costly if people are just coming in just for the wedding and they're not staying on a resort. So that's something to think about when you're having your wedding. One of the better wedding packages, I put all this information on the Facebook page. So if you need additional information about wedding packages for Iberostar, please contact me, and I can send it to you. But they have a nice package here for 30 people, and I'm just giving you prices. This is Iberostar Rose All Celebration Inclusion, and for up to 30 guests, it's $899.99. So that is $9,000 for 30 guests. And when you look at this, it includes everything you need for a wedding, because you get chivalry chairs, you get a structure for your ceremony, you get a sound system for the ceremony, you get a live soloist, a violinist, a pianist, or a saxophonist. So that's pretty good. You get a champagne toast, you get a cocktail hour, you get a wedding cake, you get a private wedding dinner buffet. You get tall centerpieces. You get hairstyle. You get a 30-minute couples massage. And all this is for $899. And if you have guests staying, as I said, if you're doing it in the beach and guests are staying at Rose Hall, it's a $95 per person charge for them to attend the wedding. So, and if you have people staying at the suites attending the wedding in Rose Hall, they have to pay $110. So if the wedding is in Grand and if people staying in the suites, they have to pay $110 to attend your wedding. So on top of the $899, you still have to pay an extra amount for them to go from one resort to the next. So that is definitely something you have to take into consideration when you're planning the wedding at Iberostar. So the other thing I wanted to talk about was just the extra. So for this particular package, it's $8.99, and we're just talking about the wedding reception. It's the ceremony and the reception. We're not talking about anything else. We're not talking about a DJ. We're not talking about videography, photography. We're not talking about any of those things. So I'm just letting you know, like, for that particular package, which is a great package, it's $8.99 for 30 people. Additional people come at additional cost, but also all the other wedding enhancement that you have to add to the wedding. So, people said, I don't know what a destination wedding costs. This, I'm trying to break it down for you to understand that, your wedding package or cost could be between $9,000 and $15,000. And we're really only covering the basic, meaning that you're covering the ceremony and the reception, and then the little added stuff you need to make the wedding really come alive. You're gonna need DJ, you're gonna need videography, you're gonna need photography, you might need a dance floor, there might be certain other things you need to enhance it. You might need uplight, you might need whatever lights they call it, go up top. So there's things that you have to consider to add to the cost of your wedding, so you can get a better understanding of what your wedding is gonna cost. So here we have banquet menus, and it tells you, hors d'oeuvres basic is $23 per person for basic stuff for 1 hour. If you have buffet dinner, what things would be separately. So you can pick and choose, I guess, this menu, and it tells you, depending on how many guests, what it's going to cost you. And this is the open bar, basic, international, premium. So you pay more if you want better liquor at your bar. So that's something to think about, when you're doing it. What type of liquor you get in? Do you need to upgrade your liquor? What is that going to cost you? DJ service for private events. So this says up to 3 hours. You get a professional DJ, you get 4 LED wireless uplighting, and you get a dance floor for $1,400. So that's something else you have to add to your budget. And if you need a tent, we go down here. Well, this is more entertainment. So if you need like a steel pan band, silver bird, orchestra, which I love, they're $1,100. So a reggae band outdoors, $1,500 for minimum 2 hours. So per hour. So these are things you have to think about, like what kind of enhancement are you going to have to your wedding, and what is the cost of that? So when you put in your budget together, these are things you really have to take into consideration of how much this wedding is going to cost you if you're trying to have one at this particular resort. So these are also special event stuff. So if you want to do like a welcome bonfire, it tells you what the cost would be if you're doing it with depending on the amount of guests you have. Also, there is Mango Walk, I guess, which is their disco. If you want to rent that for private event, it tells you what that cost would be. So there's a lot of things that you can do here, and it just tells you what the cost would be. If you want to upgrade your floral, your bouquet, it tells you the additional cost. If you want certain, centerpieces for the table, what that would cost. Spa, like, makeup, lash extension, hairdo, massages, is going to give you a price point. So what I like about this is that you're not going in blind. You're going to find out what the prices are. You can put your budget together and come up with an idea of what this wedding will cost you. They also have bridal suite if you want to, get dressed in a bridal suite. And they have digital photography. This is the photography that they use. You can reach out to them to see what their packages are, but obviously, it's going to cost you whatever it costs you. For the tent, so 20 to 40 guests, the minimum price for the tent is $1,900. For 41 to 80 guests, it's $2,300. And the tent will include a 16 or 12 by 12 dance floor, chandeliers, and the draping for the tent. So it really looks nice when it lights up. So it really is nice, but that's going to put another $2,000 in your budget. So these are things that you need to be aware of. A vendor fee. If you're going to bring someone outside, like a photographer, videography, there's a vendor fee of $750. If people are coming to the hotel that are not staying on property and attending your wedding, if they're coming to the beach, it's $95 for the day pass. If they're going to the suites, it's $115. If they're going to the Grand, it's $130. So anyone trying to attend your wedding who are not staying on property and staying off property and coming, they have to pay that money before they can even get to your wedding. And you still have to include them in your wedding costs. So to me, it's just a lot. So I just wanted to talk about that and just let you know that all this information is available in the I do in the Caribbean Facebook group. So it's under files if you need to go in there and find these information. But as I said, having a wedding at Iberostar, I think for the most part, I think it's a good choice. You have choices of the three different resorts. You have three resorts in one. They have great places for you to have locations for you to have your wedding. Also, the packages seem to be pretty reasonable for you to have your wedding, and you can get a good idea of what it's going to cost you to have your wedding there. I didn't really see any negative. I mean, I saw one wedding there that was on the beach. It was tented. It was about 30 people. So, but the wedding look, it was in the suites. It was a nice beach wedding. They had a little mental band for the cocktail hour that I thought was pretty good. The distance from where the person got married to where the tent was maybe 60 feet. They're very close to each other. So I guess you don't have to worry about the guests going too far to get from, the ceremony to the cocktail to the reception. Everything was all in the same space. So I thought that was pretty nice. The food there is good. The service is good. So I have nothing negative really to say about the Grand, apart from my own personal you saying that the Butler service wasn't all that. But the beaches are nice. I like the pool vibe. It's very nice. I like the way they set up the resort. I mean, the only thing that's also a little negative for me, but it's just me, is that there's a lot of vendors because Jamaica beaches, I mean, I guess they're free, but they're not. Like all the vendors were in the water going back from resort. They could not come on the property. But, if you go into the beach, they're like in the water with you, which I personally didn't like. But that's how they make their money. They're local vendors trying to sell trinkets to the guests there. But there were just so many of them. It was overwhelming. It's a lot of them on the beach. They couldn't come. They were on the beach in the water. They couldn't come out of the water and come where you were sitting, but they were all in the water. I truly didn't like that part of it. I don't like the fact also that even though you're staying at the Grand, you can go to the other location. They can't come to your location. They can't come and sit on your chair if they're not staying in that resort. So they really segregate that a lot. I said I was free to walk down to the other two resorts, and because I'm at a higher level, I could see it all or eat in any one of those restaurants I wanted, but you can't go up. You can always go down. So, that's how their policy is, and that's what it is. But overall, I had a great time, I think, at Iberostar, and I would definitely recommend it just for the food, because I thought the food was very, very good. And the service was good also. So if you're looking to have your destination wedding and you would like some information at Iberostar, I can help you get you some information if you would like me to. And if you're looking for someone to help you plan your destination wedding, I am also available. I do plan destination weddings for a couple. I help them, with choosing the resort, booking their guests, getting a group contract and just facilitating all their guest booking from the beginning to the end. So, I'm a full service travel advisor, and I would love to help you plan your wedding if you're looking for someone to help you. So thank you so much for watching this video. I'll be back on Monday's Memorial Day. So I'm not sure if I'm going to go live. I might go live on Memorial Day. But I'm leaving Thursday to go to Mexico. So I will definitely be telling you about my trip to Mexico. I have a wedding that I'm helping a couple plan that is at the Dreams Riviera Cancun. So that's my second wedding in 2 weeks at that resort. So I said, I need to check out that resort because that resort really comes up as a great resort for a destination wedding in Mexico. So I'm going to be staying at the Dreams Riviera Cancun from September 2nd to the 5th. So I'm going Thursday, coming back Sunday. So the wedding is on Saturday. So I will definitely give you play-by-play as that resort, just show you the beach. Well, the issue with the beach that they might have seaweed. So I'll definitely let you know if there was seaweed there when I'm there. Also, just show you different wedding location, how they actually do the wedding, what to expect when you get to the location. And also I'm going to check out another resort, Dreams Natura, because I just have a couple that is picking that one for their wedding next year. Ooh. 4/22/22. That's a hot date. So that's the date of their wedding. And I was so happy that I was able to facilitate them securing that date and securing that resort. So they're now planning to we're planning now to secure the date and time and then pick a group contract for them for their guests. So that's what I'm going to be working on next. But thank you so much for joining me. Until next time, if you have any questions relating to destination wedding that you want answered or need help, please reach out to me. Thank you so much.